Welcome back. Today we're diving into a topic that's as old as time itself, the seven deadly sins. These aren't just bad habits or mistakes, they're the core vices that can corrupt a soul if left unchecked. But what exactly are these sins and why have they fascinated people for centuries? Let's find out. The concept of the seven deadly sins originates from early Christian teachings, with roots going back to the 4th century. Originally called the capital vices or cardinal sins, they were intended to be a warning about the behaviors that could lead a person down a destructive path. Over time, the list became more formalized and widely recognized as lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride. Each of these sins represents a specific moral failing and was meant to act as a guideline on what to avoid to live a virtuous life. Let's break down each sin and see what it means and why it's considered dangerous. Lust is an intense desire, often associated with sexuality, but it can refer to any excessive craving, be it for power, money, or even status. Lust blinds us to reason, leading us to prioritize gratification over responsibility or respect for others. Gluttony is overindulgence to the point of wastefulness. Although it commonly refers to overeating, it can represent any kind of excess. The underlying danger is the loss of self-control, which can make us slaves to our appetites rather than masters of them. Greed, also known as avarice, is the insatiable desire for more, usually for material wealth or possessions. Greed can drive people to value wealth over relationships and morality, leading to corruption, betrayal, and even ruin. Sloth isn't just about laziness. It represents a deeper neglect of one's duties, responsibilities, and self-improvement. Whether it's neglecting work, self-care, or our relationships, sloth pulls us away from fulfilling our true potential. Wrath, or uncontrolled anger, can cloud judgment and lead to hatred, violence, and self-destruction. Rather than a fleeting anger, wrath is intense and vindictive, often leading people to act impulsively and harmfully. Envy is the longing for what others have, whether it's possessions, status, or relationships. Envy corrodes our self-worth and causes resentment, sometimes pushing people to harm others just to level the playing field. Last, we have pride, considered the root of all sins. Pride is an inflated sense of one's own worth, an exaggerated sense of superiority. It blinds us to our faults and distances us from those around us. Historically, it's seen as the sin that leads to the others, because when pride grows unchecked, it paves the way for indulgence, anger, and entitlement. So why are these ancient sins still relevant today? Well, think about it. In our modern world, we're surrounded by temptations that feed into these sins. From social media fueling envy to advertising that drives gluttony and greed. Understanding the 7 deadly sins can help us reflect on our own actions and recognize the parts of ourselves that may be leading us astray. The 7 deadly sins are more than just ancient warnings. They're reminders of the internal battles we all face. In recognizing these sins within ourselves, we gain the power to make conscious choices and live more fulfilling lives. So, which of these sins do you think is the hardest to avoid? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into fascinating topics.